Sometimes researching altcoins can be quite amusing, like over here for Titcoin. Now we don't get any alpha looking at the Twitter of this meme coin, but we're going to look instead at the data most people are not considering. We're trying to figure out whether or not it makes sense to still buy into this meme. Now Titcoin is the best performing cryptocurrency today among the top 10 on the Solana chain. It gained 21%, while the rest tended to lose. This is not the first video on the token. I already published one 1.5 months ago, but that video rather flopped, as in there wasn't too much interest in the token. So what we see over here is the YouTube statistics. The average video is in gray and the first Titcoin video is this blue line. At the time the price was 3.1 cents, now we are at 4.9 cents. But we can already see how this kind of performance does not come without volatility. We moved from 8 cents down to 4 cents in a matter of a few days. And now we start to recover. So how much higher could we go from here? We're trying to answer this question by looking at on-chain data. So who's buying here? Who's selling here? Is there adoption by the masses? Is the smart money getting in? We're going to answer this in a second. But first let's have a look at who bought this token early. Because again, now we are at 4.9 cents roughly. But you probably know how we are tracking influencer wallets on this channel. And we saw the Crypto King buying into Titcoin. And that was on the 24th of March at 0.6 cents. Here's his YouTube channel. He's got 83,000 subscribers. And since he got in, the price went up by almost 700%. And so this is, I believe, how we can get an edge in the market. We buy together with the insiders. We buy together with the influencers that might push up the price. It's a much better strategy than trying to buy a token that has already appreciated. Now let's get into the on-chain data. What we see over here is what happened in the last month. And on the left side, we see the number of first-time traders versus new traders. And on the right side, we see the number of token transactions per day. And we can clearly see how there had been a lot of new first-time traders coming into the token on the 7th of May. That was over here on this chart. Subsequently, we made an almost 3x. Now we see again most of the days more recurring traders than first-time traders, but the number of token transactions stays elevated. What we see over here is the trading volume. So on the left side, that's in US dollars, and on the right side, that's normalized to 100%. We segment the trading volume by different wallet cohorts, as in how large are the wallets. So you can see how the trading volume moves in waves, right? Sometimes there is a lot of attention on Titcoin and sometimes there's much less. But there is a very constant trend. The small retail wallet, so the wallet that had less than $1,000 worth of the token, tends to make up less and less of the trading volume over time. Medium-sized retail tends to trade more and more, large retail even more. Rarely do we see such a constant trend. The heavyweights are buying in. Now over here, we've got the number of retail investors versus whale investors. And what's in the middle is something in between. The way we make this distinction is by looking at minimum holding thresholds. So to be counted for a wallet here in this left chart, a wallet has to hold at least 20,000 Titcoins. That's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. To be counted in the middle, it's 200,000 tokens. So that's now $10,000 worth of the token. To be counted on the right, it's another 10x. So that's now $100,000 worth of the token. So 1,000, 10,000, $100,000. We do see some accumulation by the small retail investor, but the growth isn't really that quick. The number of whales is not necessarily growing. It's quite stagnant. Now what is noteworthy is that the token has more than 20,000 holders on chain. However, the vast majority of those holders does not even have $1,000 worth of the token. Only roughly 10% of them do. Now, all of that data begs the question. When the number of retail investors is not growing that quickly, and the number of whale investors is not growing that quickly, yet the price is going up and down quite a bit, with the tendency of rather rising, what's happening here? We've already seen how more and more of the trading volume comes gradually to the larger wallets. Now, how much of the token supply is held by the whales? The number of whales isn't changing, but maybe the existing whales are buying up more supply. That's actually exactly what is happening. Here is the token supply held by different wallet cohorts. And here we define a whale as a wallet that has at least $100,000 worth of the token. So now we are not looking at the number of tokens, but at the US dollar value that's been held. Over time, the whales take more and more of the token supply. We tended to just be at around 10%. Now it's almost 60% that's held by the whales. On the other hand, the small retail investor, the wallet that has less than $1,000 worth of the token, those 19,000 wallets, they only hold 3% of the supply. They're holding less and less over time. And so this is a takeover by the smart money by the whales. The whales are pushing up Titcoin. It appears as if the richest people in crypto enjoy doing this kind of research the most. And so we might see with Titcoin very similar dynamics to what we've seen, for example, with Fartcoin. With Fartcoin, we also saw whale accumulation over time. And then at some point, there was enough of a price rally that retail interest went up and that then the centralized exchanges also offered the token. The centralized exchanges have not yet followed. Most of trading volume still happens directly on chain on Radium. And there's also no meaningful trading volume on the perpetual futures yet. If that enters the token, so cheap, quick leverage on the price, and Titcoin is very likely going to go much higher from here. We are still at a market cap of only 50 million. Fartcoin, for comparison, has a market cap of roughly 1 billion. That's a 20x. Now, I'm not saying that Titcoin is going to 20x anytime soon, but a doubling or tripling is definitely on the cards. The smart money is getting in. Now, some people might make the argument that all of this analysis doesn't help at all because markets are efficient. But I tend to disagree because it's people that make markets efficient. There are clearly winners and losers in the game, and the winners tend to continue to win. So it's not just a game of luck, it's a game of luck and skill. And the nice thing about crypto is that we've got much more data in this market compared to other markets because every transaction is publicly recorded on the blockchain. But very few people actually use that data properly. And that's in the end where winners and losers are born. People that don't look into the details enough, they tend to lose over time. That's the vast majority. Now, the charts that you've seen in this video come from a tool that I've developed myself on top of the Dune Analytics platform. It's part of the premium membership of this channel. There are two dashboards. There's a dashboard for Ethereum related blockchains. So those are the ones we can analyze. We can plug in any token into this tool and then we can see how many large holders are there, how many small holders are there, how many new users enter a token, and how many buyers and sellers do we have over time. It's also always useful to look at the token ownership, right? Is a token mainly held just by the whales, by the people that have more than $100,000 worth of the token? If that's true, it's potentially, especially if that happened forever, a quite dangerous token. And so this is how I think about this fundamentally. The target with trading and with investing is to be better informed than the average, to be the person that makes the market efficient. If we are better skilled than the average person, then we should over time also make positive expected value bets. So that means that not every single trade will be positive, but on average, we should make money. Again, because we can estimate the probabilities better. We can see the dangers and the potential upsides better. Now, I have made more than 100 tutorial videos on various topics within crypto. How to do on-chain analytics, how to build a Dune dashboard like we've just seen. But of course, you also get access to the dashboard itself. Also about risk management, about how to properly use leverage, if that's your thing. All kinds of videos. Feel free to check them out. The newest video is this one, how to use perpetual futures and how to use the Hyperliquid platform to beat others. The videos are posted on the website, but they're also posted directly in Telegram. And here's the feedback to that tutorial. Feel free to stop the video and read through this yourself. But of course, we also need to start somewhere. And so I'm personally, of course, sharing my own trades as well as I open them. Of course, I can't share the newest trades here on YouTube, but have a look at this. This is on March 3rd. I'm adding another short, Cardano, relative to the US dollar. And the explainer was in a premium update video. So I publish premium update videos every 3 to 4 days. I then added more exposure on the 11th of March and I then closed it on the 7th month of April. So of course, not every trade works out that well, but Cardano went down relative to Bitcoin by 36% during that time. And so with this membership, I want to do both. Of course, I want to make it profitable very quickly. That's why I share my trades, but I also want that the vast majority, at least, of the members takes the time to learn as much as possible. That in the end, you might not even need the membership anymore. You can make your own profitable trades. Now have a look at this. This is where our members share their winning trades. If you use the right leverage, if you know how to do proper risk management as well, you can make hundreds of % in a single trade. It's all about being prepared and knowing the data better than most other market participants. So feel free to check it out. It's currently $125 per month. The price has been reduced because currently the attention on crypto is still relatively low. Once Bitcoin hits new all-time highs again, then I might go back to the 165. But the 125 is locked in for everybody that signs up now. So when the price increases, when you're still subscribed, your price will not increase. If it's your first time here, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time on YouTube or see you in Premium. There's also a link to Premium directly here on the right. Just click on that. It will lead you directly to the website. So see you next time. Cheers.